but I saw this great post. I shared it with you from
Yeah.
Alex Hormozi on 7 lessons that he had to learn the hard way. He says, I sold my last company for 46.2 million. 7 lessons that I had to learn the hard way. The first one is nobody knows you exist. You need to advertise more. And I think you and me coming from the world of marketing couldn't agree more, right? It's like
Right.
there's never a time when you actually stop marketing. In fact, how you market changes
Right.
regularly.
Not if.
Yeah. 2, be willing to repeat yourself. People need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. So that is another clue on marketing, but that's also another clue for your leadership team, for your investors, for your employees. You just have to constantly reset the vision.
Mhm.
And about every 90 days, people get kind of shiny object syndrome, or a little fuzzy and unclear. And so that's why those, quarterly cadence exists. So we need to be prepared for that. Number 3, the proof that you have from happy customers is way more convincing than any promise you can make in your marketing. Get testimonials and use them often. We talk about that a lot. When you're a brand new business starting up, the very first thing you should be doing and focusing on is building trust. And you do that by building reviews, right?
Yep.
That's constant. You're constantly getting reviews. The number of times that I've heard entrepreneurs and business owners say, oh, my business doesn't really work that way, right? I don't really need, we're business to business, or we work with commercial, so we don't really bid projects and jobs that way, is totally missing the point, right? Is it does just firm up a level of trust with every successive bid that you do with future potential buyers, investors, business partners, employees that want to work for you. I mean, literally, we got an application the other day for one of the businesses, and it's like, you guys have 300 reviews, and I read through most of them. I don't really know what is going on there, but I just want to be a part of it. Right? So if you think reviews don't matter, you're fooling yourself.
Right.
Raising prices, number 4. Raising prices almost always makes you more money, but you'll hear no more often, and that is okay. Right? If you double your price, you might sell half as much, but you're still doing the same amount of revenue. Number 5, your business is never too big for you to spend time talking directly to your customers. That's a real thing too, right? You reach a certain point, you lose that level of communication and community and intimacy that you once had. So it's always important to just continually call on your customers, continually ask them questions, continually get feedback from them, open the door so that you can learn and innovate. What do they want? Market's always shifting. Number 6, before you chase something new, do 10x more of what already works. And I think that's a real truth, as well as Alex Hormozi says. He says more, better, or
new.
More, better, or new are the kind of the 3 frameworks that he gives. And I couldn't agree. I think oftentimes when we think we've actually maxed out, we probably haven't, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then number 7, growth is stressful, stagnation is stressful, and decline is stressful. Business is stressful. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't need to change anything. You need to learn to endure. Just win.
Alex.
And I love that part too, because I feel like with every successive level, you feel like, oh, shouldn't this be easier? And sure, there's a point where it gets easier. But if you stay in that place, then you're just going to stagnate. And if you're not growing, you're dying. So you're going to have to push out of that into a new level. And it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There's just no way around it. And then boom, you get to that new level. You achieve a new cruising altitude, and it gets a little bit easier. And then again, you have to make a decision, right? Do I continue to stagnate here, or do I push to the next level? Do I innovate? Do I scale? Do I optimize? What are all the ways that I can make the business better than what it is currently?
Yeah, that's really good, man. I think two really stand out to me that I want to share 2 thoughts on. One, number 5, you're never too big to spend time talking directly to your customer. It's funny because within, let's just say, the last 10 years of business content, media, marketing, social influence, you almost get, what's really alluring is I want to build this, I want to start this, and then I want to get some distance from this. But that's a huge asset, to always have a direct link to the person your business is serving.
Yeah.
Dude, today is really going to be from my seat. Today is really going to be all about communication. I've just been realizing some things of just the stuff we hear, what we say, how it's shaping what we think, and what we think the outcomes are and the destination. And it's like, yeah, maybe you don't have to be, day in, day out with the customer, but just think about it. If you cut off that supply that you have to the customer, um, you're creating a vacuum, that can be filled with a number of different things, good people, good leadership, but it's the reason you started down this path in the first place is somebody else. And so,
And your customers will tell you what they want and what you should go build. I think
correct.
it's easy to look at the market and come up with ideas. And
Right.
obviously you need a little bit of that in order to innovate or start a company in the first place. But if you're listening to them, they're generally going to tell you what the right next move is, right? Or where your roadblocks are, right? Like, why aren't people buying this thing or doing this thing?
Correct. And yeah, and what I was gonna say with that was too that it's a tale as old as time. If you look at all the people who have, not all of them, but because I know all of them, but most of the ones that we venerate and put up on pedestals from decades ago, there's a common thread of like an air of humility that is always interested in that customer, and just juxtaposing that with the social media thread where it's like I get to go where I want, I get my distance, my laptop lifestyle, I got my team, I do that, and it's like that's maybe for some, but the majority of us are always we're going to be in businesses that require us to keep a lifeline on the relationship with us and the customer.
Yeah, one of the things I love about what we do is we just get to work with entrepreneurs, right? Whether
Right.
that's helping them size up debt, buy a business, size it up for sale,
Right.
get financing secured for their business. And so, man, it gives you just a real time pulse on what's happening in the market, what are the struggles and challenges that they're going through.
Hmm.
It impacts the bottom line, right?
Yeah. It
And
do.
and what we're ultimately going to be measured on at the time we go to exit our business or sell our business as well.